What's up, Crashed It Nation? This is Jonathan Wood with Crashed It, episode number 10. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you to all the subscribers, all the support. Keep liking and sharing. We love it. Let's get this 10th episode over 10,000 listeners. Today we got joining us Joshua Wood, Jacob Wood, and our new co-host, Andy Lepper. We're going to start off by kind of a recap on Eldon. We had Saturday night, Eldon, Missouri. It was a smash up. We had demolition derby and figure eight racing on an Eldon's new track. So made for a good night. The track was, we ran into a little bit of weather, but overall it was a good night. In the full size stock, Destin Sanford came in first. Roy Porter came in second, followed by Matt Porter and Dallas Hardy. Bringing home the Mad Dog was Chris McDaniel. In the figure eight class, we had James Fisher bringing home the win, followed by Dylan Chilton, Brenton Hodelsharp, and Dustin Jordan. Zach Burton rounded out the top five. Fastest lap, Seth DeWestplour. He donated $50 to the fastest lap, and he ended up bringing it home himself. In the gut and go, bringing home the win was Kurt the Hammer Turpin. Coming in second and third, Dominic Miller and Troy Mitchell. They both kind of split. Coming in fourth and bringing home the Mad Dog was Kyle, the All-American Wardenhausen. We had full-size hobo class. Vincent McGee came home with the win, followed by Tyler Ray and Steve Porter. And fourth was Brenton Hodelsharp. And Vince McGee, he doubled down. He got the win and the Mad Dog. And the Powder Puff, Shaylin Worthy, she came home with another first place finish. That makes 2 in a row on the year. And Angie Burton came home in second. So what'd you guys think of start with the racing action, the figure eight action?
The track wasn't what we wanted it to be. We had a lot of rain. All that stuff's new dirt. So just hang with us, guys. That track will be better. It will be better as we go along. The racing was fast. It was bumpy, but like I always tell them all, they're all on the same track. So I don't know. It was good racing. There was a lot of close heats. The B features were good, and somehow the track was still big, but the guys still managed to get in big old pileups, just like always at Eldon. I don't understand it. We got a huge track, and they still had pileups. And overall, I thought it was a good night, fast night. Track wasn't rough enough where anybody rolled over. Everybody stayed on four wheels, and I know a lot of guys tore stuff up, and there's no excuse for that. We will do better. The track will be better. Just stick with it, guys, and it will make it better.
Yeah, that track was huge, and there's a lot of potential there. A lot of people don't know 2 weeks before that they're moving dirt. So, and then we didn't really have any good spell of weather for that track to set up where they could even compact it down either. I look forward to the next one there because I know they're going to be doing some work on the track, and there's just a lot of potential to come with that arena.
Oh yeah, the potential is definitely there. They're going to work on some venue enhancements as well. But man, the racing, Eldon's always been known for close finishes and did not disappoint right off the bat. Seth made that last minute pass, the first heat, won by like a fender against Rhett Kiesling. And I was like, dang, track got bigger. Known for close finishes and pile-ups. Track got bigger, but there were still close finishes and still pile-ups. So, I was happy with the racing. The track would come around, like Jacob was saying, but potential's there, and I think we all seen that.
And even though the track was kind of soupy, them guys were flying out there. And that first heat was, I mean, Seth's coming around on two wheels, basically got his treads on the tire. And Kiesling, he's up high, he slid a little too high, but he almost came back and got it. Awesome racing. I don't know if, does that transponder system show like intervals as well?
Not intervals per se, but like you could do math and figure it out.
I bet that was super close. I mean, it was awesome to watch. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the night. I mean, we had a lot of our, top 10 in points that had to fight their way through the B just to get to the A.
Yeah, and this race had some big time points implications. So by the time this airs, I'll go ahead and post on Facebook that the points are updated in the website. There's quite a bit of movement in the top 5. So James Fisher, I think, he's in 3rd now, and Jordan Youngmeyer's in 4th. So the top 5 in points reads Dylan Chilton 1, Kyle Wardenhausen 2, James Fisher 3, Jordan Youngmeyer 4, and Nathan Dummermuth 5. So yeah, big implications. I think Nate and Dylan both missed the feature, so it'll be, just how it goes with figure eights. It seems like race by race, the points just get closer and closer.
Yeah, and then we have Landon Worthy out there driving with one arm, and he gave it all he had. No power steering, and he's out there trying to wheel it around the track. So,
and you talk about, Jordan Youngmeyer moving into 4th. His car was dead in the water at the staging area. Hopped in his brother's car. They pulled it off the trailer, cleaned all the tires and everything out, got on the track, started dead last, and he was in the
ended up 7th.
Yeah, ended up 7th, but he took the lead like 3 times. I mean, he'd fall back to 4th or 5th, and then next thing you know, come around the next corner, 33's in the lead again. It was nuts.
3 different races, 3 different winners. That's what we like.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
good.
and
we're seeing people that haven't won before perform. It's getting fast. It's getting racy.
That's what I was saying. So this year, out of 3 races, 2 of the winners have never won until this year. So that just shows the newcomers, if you got to stick with it, your time will come. You just got to race smart and race hard.
No replacement for seat time.
No.
And then we had the gut and go. That was the Hobo Stock was the first derby of the night. So we only had 4 cars show up to that. But those 4 cars didn't go out and put around for the track they were on.
I was surprised. I expected that derby to last like 5 minutes with that type of build, but them cars lasted forever, and them guys were out there hitting hard. I mean, I think that class will grow. I think everybody's kind of feeling it out, seeing what it was going to be like. But I think we got one more maybe in Sedalia, and I think that class is going to grow into something really cool. It's nice watching them cars bend up like that. It was cool to watch.
Yeah, and they're quick builds too. I mean, they had maybe a few days in those cars. I think Vince probably built his in a night or so.
Yeah, that first hit that Vince put on Brenton, I mean, he was clear into the speaker deck.
Oh yeah.
That class right there was a lot of fun to watch. The cars lasted, like you said, a lot longer than what we expected. And I hope it does grow. I'd like to see some of these other guys that's got some cars laying around that are rusted out, fair show cars, maybe not quite fair show quality. leave the engine, transmission in it, go tear it up.
Yeah, yeah. And Jonathan touched on, we only had 4 cars. One of the good things about running our shows is payouts are always 100% guaranteed. So we paid out the 4th. All of those drivers got paid advertised money. So you don't have to worry. I mean, we got another show in Sedalia. Same thing. Money's guaranteed. If there's 4 cars show up there, everyone's getting paid.
Yeah, and then we had the gut and go class. There's 21 gut and go cars that came out on the track. And within 7 minutes, we were down to 3. Super fast pace.
Best gut and go derby I've seen in maybe forever. They got after it. I mean, watching Kasey Wray and Kyle Wardenhausen just trade haymakers, that was the highlight of my night. Those guys were going at it. And those guys and girl were going at it.
And I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but Kurt Turpin did a full 360 in the air when he got hit in the back corner in a van.
Like in
Them
a
cars,
seat.
they went after them vans. It was kind of cool to see. Everybody's always scared of them vans, but them cars, they went after them vans and took a bunch of them out. What everybody don't realize is they still got struts and axles up front. If you hit them in the tire like Kyle was doing, you'll take them out. So don't be scared off by them vans. They'll go out just like a car will.
Yeah, like the 3rd hit of the Derby on my videos when Kurt, he gets spun around. It's awesome to watch. I can't wait for it to upload.
So he got spun around in his seat.
No, in the air, the whole van.
Oh, the whole van.
Oh, he never wears a seatbelt, so I didn't know if he was. Gotcha. Yeah. Kurt was laying some shots down too.
Oh man, he hit shinning so hard.
Oh, big show. But that heat was the easiest heat for all the officials to pick the Mad Dog. I will give props to Kyle. It was fun to watch him out there. He was laying the hammer. And some guys after the Derby come up to me and say, "Oh, I had the best hit. I did this." The Mad Dog is kind of, you have to hit people smart and hard. It doesn't just go off one hit, guys. So don't come up to me after the Derby and say, "Oh, I had the best hit of the night. I should have been the Mad Dog." We all have a way of picking it. We got, I don't know, eight different people. The girls even pick Mad Dogs, and we all decide whoever's the majority wins the Mad Dog. It's not one official that picks. It's not me. It's not Joshua. Everybody has a say, and everybody stays equal. So that's kind of how we pick the Mad Dogs. And it kind of goes, the way I pick it is throughout the whole Derby, who's ever hitting hard, smart shots. That's how I pick my Mad Dogs.
Yeah, and smart has whenever I pick them, I don't care if they're hitting smart. I just go off of who's the most aggressive for the longest amount of time. So if you're going, end to end, making track shots, that's another good thing. We have so just like Jacob was saying, everyone's got their own opinion on Mad Dog, and we have 8 or 9 opinions that go into picking it.
I like that guy out there going track. I mean, end to end, corner to corner, full send mode from the go. I take that into account. If you're sending it so hard and then your car's limping around later, I don't forget about them hard hits at the beginning.
Yeah, if Brian Nichols could have kept his going a little bit longer, he would have been in the talk of it too, because he was, just like Jonathan said, the guy going one end to the other, just making junk.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday. I said, I seen you make that good shot, and then you backed into the other end of the track, and I didn't see what happened. I said, "Did you get hit in the wheel or what?" He said, "Nope, I hit somebody with my front wheel." He said he was so pissed at himself, but that's what happened to him. He used his tire as his bumper, and it broke his lower ball joint. So
Yep. Broke
It,
it
didn't-
right.
it didn't break his ball joint. It stripped the ball joint bolts off.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know someone else that did that at Blizzard Bash one year.
that's what he said.
Use his tire as a bumper. Yep.
That was you.
I bet my car was a little bit more messed up than his was.
Oh yeah.
It ripped
ripped
everything.
But yeah, that was my favorite class. That always is. Them guys, they go out there. There's always a bunch of them that show up, support us, and they always go out there. And from the drop of the green flag till they're all limping around, somebody out there is hitting, and it sure is fun to watch. And be on the lookout for them. We're going to take care of you guys next year in a big way. So you guys keep supporting us, and we're going to put it right back in your all's pockets. So we really appreciate it. The other classes are good too, but that's my favorite ones.
Speaking of the other classes, we had the full-size stock class. And that was a guaranteed pay. Every show, like every class was guaranteed, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
don't
you
have to
had,
worry about that.
what'd you have full-size? 10 or
10
11?
cars.
10? And so they were all Eldon drivers but one, right?
One from Versailles.
All local boys, pretty much. I consider Versailles local too, so he knew all them guys too. So, but yeah, they went out there and hit each other. It was good. It was good to see Roy Porter back on the track. He hadn't been on that track in a long time, so I was really happy to see him back out there. Man, I challenged somebody from outside of Miller or Morgan County to come down and show these boys what's up. I mean, come on, somebody's got to have it. Get down here and come win this money. We're paying $1,200. Come show these Eldon boys. They're ready. They want somebody to come down here and derby with them. I promise you, they want it. So come on,
1,500.
guys.
1,500 at Richland.
Come get it. They're ready. Come get that money.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I love watching the Eldon guys, but I mean, they're even get to the point like they're like, man, I'm getting tired of beating on my buddy. Yeah, let's go. Let's start getting some out of towners in. So Richland, we talked with them and we were setting at the show. We said we want to get some out of towners, what kind of payout? And I said, well, $1,500 ought to do it. We changed the rules, so I have a feeling there's going to be some out of towners showing up there. In addition to some few changes, we also got Tommy Stark teching big cars. So he knows his stuff inside and out. So you don't have to worry about local prejudice when it comes to that. So yeah, I'm with Jacob. Bring him on. Let's see some big car battles.
I was gonna ask if Tommy Stark inspecting the full size was going to be a staple thing going on forward, or is that just for that show?
We're going to try getting them to stay on.
Because I was down there in the tech shed and he knows exactly what's supposed to be where, and it was impressive, his wealth of knowledge, and we were glad to have him for sure. So during the full size, we got to see Destin Sanford. He came away with his first win. Congrats, bud. I know you've been really pounding on it and working hard to get there. So it was nice to see. And you kind of drove smart for the track that you're on.
He beat two of them boys. He beat Roy and Matt, and I'm proud of him. He comes into the shop a lot. He spends a lot of time, him and his dad, in that shop, and they work really hard on them cars. So it was good to see them guys come through and get his first win. I'm sure his dad's going to be right behind him real soon. He's got a new motor coming, so he'll have all the good stuff too. And I look for him to be in the winner's circle real soon.
Supposedly fresh car coming to Richland from Brad.
Yeah, Brad's got a car that he wasn't even wanting to run, that old car.
Yep.
So it was nice to see Matt and Roy Porter show up though, because I was expecting all them guys to be in Tennessee. So that was a good surprise. And Matt did double duty. He was in the gut and go and in the full size. And I seen a post on Facebook said he was feeling it. So
Yeah, he told me, he said next time he's going to pick something a little bigger than a Cavalier. He missed his Lumina.
hey, I witnessed someone trying to buy that car before the show. So
I was trying to buy it.
Oh, you too.
Yeah, I think there was multiple people on that car before the show. And even like a week prior, there was a few people trying to buy that car for a figure eight car. And he stuck to his gun. He said he wanted to try it. So he went out there and he finished her off, I think.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked when I seen him drive up into his dad's. He cleared. I think he was almost to the tank protector on his dad's car.
Oh yeah, the speaker deck was against the tank protector. I looked at Roy's car after the Derby, and it was in the tank protector, all the sheet metal. It wasn't going anywhere else. He drove right up on that. So they battled it out. I mean, it was.
Yeah. So Destin actually came by the house last night, picked up the trophies that I forgot. We'll just announce that again. But he picked those up, and he was talking, and I was like, man, I figured whenever it got down to Matt, Roy, and Destin, father and son would be teaming up on Destin. And Destin said, yeah, that's what I thought too. You know, if it was me and my dad, I would have turned on Matt. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, but you know, we build out of the same shop. And he was talking to Roy, and Roy said, you know, we build together. I'm not going to do you like that. So I thought that was pretty cool of Roy to not just team up on Destin. But
I mean, how cool would it be to go out there and just knock the crap out of your own son?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so awesome. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been so much fun.
Another thing that was interesting that you guys probably don't know about. So before the Derby, I went over there and talked to Matt and Roy, and Matt said, I'm not going to let no caddy win this Derby. And I said, what about your dad? He said, I'm going to drive through him.
He
And he
almost
did.
Yeah. I seen Matt already had it pulled down, and he said he was ready for his plate. So I don't know if he's taking that car to Richland or what his plans are, but he's got that one ready to go. And I think Roy, I talked to him, his plans was to take a fresh car to Richland. He said that that's one Derby he really wanted to win. So he said that years ago, we used to go up there and watch. He would go up there and there would be tons of cars gang up on him. We had some good memories at Richland, and I'm glad that Derby's.
Yeah, Richland's going to be an awesome show. That's just the Derby, is that correct?
Correct. We're running full size, gut and go, and then a compact, the modified version of the compact, so no cradles and stuff. But before that, actually in 2 weeks, we got the Russellville bump and run and hobo figure eight. So we got the new hobo figure eight class coming on, and then we also have the bump and run. And that'll be at Russellville. That's the FFA event there. So they'll have a lot of, support from the local community there for the FFA organization. But just an announcement for the guys in the figure eight championship. For those two classes, we're doing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for points. So if you win, you get 10 points. Second place, so there's no show up points, but if you place in the top 10, you're getting bonus points for the Worthy Bail Bonds Championship figure eight series.
Is this in the bump and run or the figure eight?
Both. So each class has an opportunity for 10 points. So, I mean, if they bring 2 cars and win both, that's 20 bonus points.
Cool. That'll bring some of them out there, I bet.
Well, I mean, technically, you could just bring one car and run it in both classes. Is that right?
If you want to run a hobo car
Okay.
against some of them bump and run guys, yeah.
And for the guys that don't know, so bump and run has extended wheelbase. So you could run minivans, compact trucks, what I think it's 116 wheelbase or something like that. So some of the bigger cars, it's just got to have 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder engine.
Dang it, that ruined my idea. I was going to say I got an Explorer out here that somebody can use, but it's got V8, so that's out.
Yeah. That's out.
Kurt would have been over here in about an hour getting that thing.
Oh, he's had experience driving that.
Yeah, he has. Oh, shoot. But that'll be an exciting show. We'll go, what's that, June 18th over there. So that'll be good for that. I hope we get some cars. It'll be the stocker hobo class for the figure eight. So just for anybody that didn't listen to the earlier episodes, that's taking a step back, well, way back for the figure eight guys. Basic rules, it has to be a DOT tires, 4-point cage only, no sheets on your doors. Don't even try to bring them cars, guys. I don't care if the rest of the car's stock. It's got to be stock doors. Only thing you can do up front is change the bumper. No radiator protector, nothing like that. This is just old. Just throw it together and come out there and have some fun with them. If you got some old cars that are rusty or something like that, this would be a good time to bring it out because we're going to have them at California and Jeff City too. So you guys will have a few opportunities to run that class. So throw them together, bring them out, get you some bonus points, have some fun. And you guys can bring your coolers into the pits and have your Pepsis and whatever else and have a good night. So, and we always appreciate the support. It's for the FFA. It helps them. So come out and support them, guys.
And before we get into talking to our drivers, did you have something you wanted to talk to the guys about the 28 show?
What is that? August what? 13th?
It's August 13th.
August 13th.
Thought we were running on a Monday night, but okay. August 13th. Actually, Andy came up with this idea. He said he's seen it a few places. Circle tracks do it. What we're gonna do? Lucky Sevens is paying is no matter what, we're guaranteeing the purse. First off, we're gonna take care of the first 4 spots. If we don't get the sponsors, we're still going to take care of every other spot. But what we're going to try to do is spot 5th through 28th. We're going to offer it up $50 per place. You can sponsor 1 place. You can sponsor 6 places. It's whatever you want to do. I've already got a few people that's throwing in some money, so I got to talk to them guys first and see which places they want to sponsor. But to repeat that again, spots 5th through 28th. $50. You can sponsor each finishing position. And what I'm going to do for everybody that throws in on that, we're going to have a big Happy Gilmore check, just like we had at Eldon. On the front of the check, we'll have our Lucky Sevens and graphics and all that with the 1,028. But on the back of that check, we're going to list everybody that chipped in. So them guys can hang it on the wall. So we're going to have spots, everybody that sponsored those, we're going to have on the back of that check. We're going to take pictures with it. So everybody will get recognition for throwing in on that. So again, if we don't get any, it's no big deal. We're going to pay out no matter what, but it gives you guys an opportunity to support this race. Even if you don't have a business, if it's just an individual that wants to sponsor a spot, we'd really appreciate it. I thought that was a good idea. Gets everybody involved. And like I said, don't message me tomorrow yet. We'll put that out on Lucky Sevens page because I've already had a few people hit me, and I'm going to see what they want to do first, and then we'll go from there. And once we get them spots filled up, if we get more money, it's all going to first place. So let's get them spots filled up, and let's make this pay really, really good. I think we can do it.
And you might want to make that like you do on the waffles. Just post that on Facebook and then let people just fill their spots, because that seems to work well on the waffles and stuff.
Yep, we'll do something like that, and fill all them up and get that thing sponsored up, so we can pay, so we can just help us pay down. And we really appreciate anybody that wants to help. Like I said, I've had a few that's already hit me, and we'll go through all the sponsors later. But
all right, let's
Yeah, I can hold on, Jonathan. This show gets me excited. And there's a lot of people that are excited about it. Just in the last week since we announced it, I've had a bunch of people wanting just to be involved. Lots of good feedback. So I'm excited about that show. Sorry, Jonathan. I'll let you lead us out here.
Yeah, so let's get James Fisher on the phone and see what he has to say about his first place win. Pretty sure that's his first win in the figure eight, but I'm not positive. Let's get him on the phone and see what he thought about the new track and how the season's going for him so far. We're on the phone. We got James, the Fireball Fisher, the black and red 64 out of Stover, Missouri. James, let me be the first to ask or to thank you for coming on the Crashed It podcast.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity.
For all of our listeners, can you kind of tell everyone how you got started in figure eight racing?
Well, it all started. We were trying to think. I believe 2016 was the year I started running. Back when Gary was running it, and our first race was over there in Eldon. But I had a few friends that did it. Mike Miles over there out of California, Missouri. He ran quite a bit, and I watched Dylan run a handful of times, and knowing them too. And then just one day we had a spare car sitting around, and instead of beating it around the property, we were like, hey, let's throw this thing together and take it to a figure eight race. And that's been hooked ever since, really.
And do you have a favorite type of car you like to drive, or is there just anything you can find?
Well, I used to always be pretty fond of the Eclipses and Eagle Talons. They that one car that I started with, I think I ran that car for the first 4 years, but I would just kill clutches. It was like every other race, I would either explode a clutch or a pressure plate would break on me, and I just couldn't keep the things running. The cars held up amazing, but the drivetrain did not. But it wasn't last year. It was the year before. I had kind of missed a handful of races. We were getting our new house together and remodeled, and I kind of just grabbed whatever I could grab. And I remember I brought a Ford Escort, and I can't remember if it was, I think it was Josh when we were in tech. He was like, man, you just have a poor choice in cars, don't you? Ever since then, we kind of talked about the Cavies, and I got a Cavie after that, and I think the Cavies is where it's at.
Yeah, I like the Cavies too. Is there a certain type of engine that you like to run, or is it just a 2.2 regular, the Ecotech? I think you have an Ecotech right now, don't you?
No, I'm still running the 2200, the old overhead valve motor. That's what I started with, and I got several of them laying around. All the guys keep telling me, "Oh, I need an Echo," and I mean, I feel like the old Bulletproof 22's been holding up pretty good. That's the one I ran all last year, so I favor it over the Echo Tech, I think.
Well, results don't lie. Bringing home that first place Saturday, they don't really have a whole lot of room to talk.
Yeah, it was a lucky one.
Is that your first win?
That is. I've had several fourth and third places over the years, and fifths and whatnot. But yeah, that was the first. That was the first for me.
Congratulations! I know it's been a long time coming because I could have sworn you've won before.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, yeah, I feel like we've hung in there. I don't know. It's always, it seems like I could hang with the top five, but it's usually something goes wrong with the cars. But we're, like I said, the Cavaliers, I think I about got them figured out now. So
you just had to get that bow tie to get you in the victory lane. That's what it is, James.
Yeah.
Now you said your other favorite was the Eclipse, and last year you kind of threw one together that was an Eclipse body, and you had the Cavalier drivetrain, swapped out the rear axle. Are we gonna see that one this year?
I was looking at that car the other day, and yeah, I mean, that was kind of a Frankenstein car for sure. Like I said, I really favored the Eclipses, and they hold up pretty solid. And I had both Cavies I went through last year. I had two of them, and they were both rust buckets. And the one split in half on me in California. I mean, it was the only thing that held that car together was the roof and the D pillars. The whole bottom of it broke from one side to the other.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was the fuel tank.
No, I had the fuel cell inside, but or the fuel tank inside, and it was there wasn't much holding it together. And I was like, I can't not keep running for points because we were trying to stay in that top 10 last year. And I was like, well, I got this Talon sitting here, and I got a Cavi motor and subframe, so we slapped it underneath there, and it actually fit pretty well. So, but I pulled the motor out to put it back in my current car. But yeah, I think I'm going to try to bring that one out. It'll probably be later in the year. Currently working on a backup car at the moment, which is a second Cavalier. But I'd almost, I think I want to bring the Eclipse out for the total destruction at the end of the year.
What's the most memorable race you've ever had?
Most memorable race, man, that's got to go down as the Versailles race last year. That's just one that I don't think anybody will forget. The mud pit race.
Yeah, and so a lot of people don't know. Several years ago, your car burst into flames, and that's why I call you the Fireball Fisher.
Yeah.
At California.
Yeah, there's that one too. That's right in line with the Versailles race for sure. Yeah, I was racing alone that night. Normally I got my buddy Josh who rides with me, and that was one of those races that he missed. And I don't remember what happened that actually caused it, but I know we had a bad luck night. We broke a power steering rack to where it was leaking fluid, and the car was loading up on fuel real bad and didn't want to run quite right. And we knocked a hole in the oil pan, and I believe that's what set it off. Was the oil was full of gas, and the header, I didn't have a header on it. It just had that downpipe on it, and it shot fire out and lit that oil whenever we'd busted the hole in the oil pan. And yeah, I think Nate or somebody drove right through the fire as we were coming across. And I remember seeing the glow, and I was like, what is that? And looked back, and I'm like, oh, that's me. I was undoing my seatbelt. Yeah, that was something else. I kept it on the floor. I was just aiming for the end of the track and undoing my seatbelt at the same time, and just hoping not to explode in that thing.
Yeah, I remember that race. It was almost off of like a cartoon where you'd see a car driving and then just a streak of gas or a streak of fire chasing the car. It was a sight to see for sure.
Yeah, I was coming out of that far corner. I was actually behind Nate, and I seen the whole thing just from where you came out of the corner, went all the way across the straightaway. And I mean, to me, it looked like one of them cars with a jet engine on it. I was like, this guy's a rocket ship.
I used to joke with everybody and tell them I hit 88 miles an hour and was trying to go back to the future, but
exactly. Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on the new track?
I like it, I mean, especially since that's my first, and that was the track I started on. So, I mean, that track kind of holds a little spot to me, but expanded out like it is, it's awesome. I mean, we had those few little chug holes out there, but I know those will come around eventually. I was watching people.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit to get worked in. I think the crew was kind of rushed. They said it kind of snuck up on them. They had a whole year, but it snuck up on them. But I have no doubt come July, I think it's July 8th, figure 8, there it'll be back to the normal Eldon, tacky, tough track. So
that's awesome. Yeah, there was just those 2 holes, but otherwise, yeah, little dirt work there, a little compacting, and it'll be right where it needs to be.
Yeah, because that dirt,
I love the size of it.
That dirt only sat there for like 2 weeks, and then it rained. So
it just got poured.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
So I'm not sure if you had a chance to look. I know I haven't posted anything on Facebook, but I just updated the points. With that first place, it moved you up into third. You got plans for going for the championship now?
Well, I hadn't seen that yet. Last I'd looked, I think I was holding 8th, and I was happy to be in the top 10. But this year, I told everybody, I was like, I'm going to try for the top 5. And I mean, if I could do any better than that, that's awesome. Yeah, third, that's great.
Yeah, well, you're well on your way now. 3 shows down, sitting in the top 5.
Yeah, well, that's even better because, I mean, we had a pretty hard start to the year, too.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think the next figure 8's actually at Eldon again.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's what I was seeing.
Yep. So we talked a little bit about it at the start, but it'll be new to you, James. So with the bump and run and the hobo figure 8, there's going to be some bonus points available. So it'll be like a heat race for the feature. So a little chance for some extra points, but it'll help in the long run, I think. So our next show is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, actually, my fiance gave me a little bit of a scare on that one. the other night. We were talking. She goes, "Wait a minute," because we planned a camping float trip, and she's like, She's like, "Why is there a race posted on this night?" And I was like, "I know. I looked at that schedule 10 times." I was like, "What are you talking about?" But yeah, that's cool. I'll probably miss that one, but my brother wants to jump in on some of that, and I think we're going to try to get another car together for him to maybe run a little bit. And he's not home all the time, so I may, if he don't kill it, then I'll try to run that in some of those hobo classes too.
There you go.
Be kind of different. When I started out, we were with Gary, and that's kind of about the time we started doing the plates and stuff. Wasn't quite what we're doing now, but yeah, I look forward to try to run it once, just see what a stock car could do.
That looks really fun to me when them guys do them bump and runs. I mean, last year we had Russellville, and you had guys that were running to win, and then we had a guy out there that thought he was Superman, and he was jumping the mounds like, I bet he was 5 feet off the ground. But I've always thought that looked really cool. Them guys are flat flying out there.
Yeah. I've watched the YouTube videos of it. I haven't got to go watch one in person yet. We always seem to have something else going on, but I definitely want to make it out to one of those events.
Yeah, for sure. As a driver or an ex-driver, I guess that like watching that one, it makes me want to get back in a car, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people get their stuff tore up, but man, you are hauling ass. Especially we have a show that Tuesday of the Eldon Fair on that big track. Those guys are gonna be flying.
Oh yeah. I noticed that the few videos I watched, it's just they are moving around that thing, and I mean, I feel like we get pretty fast. We're actually just talking about how fast we could get up to in the figure eight, and I wasn't really sure. I've always kind of guessed probably around the 25-30 mile an hour range, but I could be way off. But those bump and run cars, they look like they could pick up 35 miles an hour pretty easy down through there.
Yeah, I'd say at Jeff City at the bump and run last year, they were doing every bit of 40, 45.
Oh, every bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even at Russellville, they were flying, and I can't wait to see it. I've seen it on the schedule for the Eldon Fair Week. I can't wait to see, the work I'm sure they're going to do to the track, how fast people are going to be going there. Because that place is huge, and I see some good things from that.
Yeah, that's, like I said, that's probably one of my favorite things about that track, is the size. I always liked the big tracks, like California, like where I got my nickname from. It seems like every time I go to California, I break something pretty catastrophically, but I always liked the track. But there's just something about California. That's where my last year's car split in half too.
Yeah, after the first 2 years, that's where I decided I'm not going to take any more fresh cars to California, because they've all ended up pretty the same way. But they're not built like yours either, though.
Yeah, we're starting to figure out the building thing. I don't know. Everybody just evolved so much from. I still got the original Eclipse sitting up there, and I was looking at it and what I had for a cage in that, and what was done to it, and I'm like, man, this wouldn't last 3 laps nowadays.
Oh yeah. So where is your favorite track at?
It's a hard toss up between Eldon and Versailles. Versailles is close to home. It's big. That's where I grew up watching all the demolition derbies and figure eights and stuff, and kind of what drew me towards it. So probably, honestly, Versailles is probably one of my favorite tracks.
Like Versailles too. Probably because that's where I got my first win at, but I've always seemed to do pretty good there as well. And Joshua, I know he freaking does good there too. He's hard to beat there.
Yeah, I remember watching you guys run over there for years. It's before I'd gotten into it.
So you got anyone you want to thank for allowing you to do what you do, or any sponsors, or?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, my fiance and the rest of my family. My dad helps out quite a bit, and my brother, whenever he's home, he helps out. And we picked up a few sponsors this year. It's the first time. Normally, we just kind of flew it solo, but this year I got my buddy from Greener's Land LLC. He's got me sponsored, and Larry's Transmission out of Cole Camp. Larry and Chris, they're awesome. And my buddy Doug from Holdfast, he's hooked me up with lots of materials for the car. And my sister-in-law from Shannon's Crafting Corner, she does all my sticker work, and she did my shirts.
So I haven't got to see your shirts. Do you wear them at every show, or just select ones, or?
I working on the car, I stained mine up immediately. And but my brother and most of the family, they've been wearing them around. I think Kyle bought one from me, and there's been a handful of other people that's bought some. But yeah, I wore mine to the first event, and yeah, I ruined it at the first event. So.
So what's your next show? Where can we see you next at?
Oh, you'll see me right back in Eldon if Eldon's the next one. I don't plan on missing any point series races.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for coming on, taking your time out of your night to come on and talk a little figure eight with us.
Yeah, I appreciate the chance, and I appreciate you guys putting on you with the podcast. It crashed it, and the others. It's at Lucky Sevens for putting on all the shows. I mean, you guys are rocking it. They're killer shows, drawing in a lot of people, and yeah, just look forward to more racing.
Just wait till you see these videos I'm getting ready to post on YouTube, because I was in the front row seats covered in mud, but the videos are pretty awesome.
Yeah, I bet. My dad had a few, but he was at the top of the bleachers, and you couldn't really see all the action. But we were parked kind of right behind you guys, back off there to the corner, and I walked up and watched the heats and the consies and stuff. And yeah, I mean, we were getting pelted with mud all the way back where we were.
Yeah, but just keep an eye on.
Yeah, congrats on your first win, James. Thanks for coming on. Before you go, though, I wanted to just say a little bit about, just how far you've came. So I know when you first started, it was pretty rocky road for you, but you kind of just put your head down and kept grinding. I know there's a lot of new people in the sport that experience that same. It's tough when you first get started and you're running against these guys with years and years of seat time. But now you're becoming one of those guys with years and years of seat time, and the fruits of that, putting your head down and grinding and keep going, it's kind of paying off now that, top 3 in points, you got your first win. What's a piece of advice that you would tell, somebody just starting out and, kind of going through those struggles of getting the experience?
Yeah, it's exactly like you said it. It's just keep grinding hard at it. I mean, I feel like back when the first couple of years was rough, we really didn't know what we were doing. We're just like here. I mean, we're just a bunch of hillbillies back here racing cars and smashing into one another, and that's not really what it's all about. I mean, it's more of a racing strategy, and I've kind of learned that after being smacked around a little bit, and I'm sure I've made a few people mad over the years bumping into them, but I've kind of come around to drive against people how you want them to drive against you, and that'll really pay off. Just not going out there to total the car. I mean, you could stay away from smashing people and keep the car together. You could stay in it. And I've had a handful of people tell me that's rode with me over the years say I have a little bit different driving strategy than most others. I don't really know. I mean, I've rode with Dylan, and he's kind of got a different strategy himself. He's kind of a go-getter. He'll just go until it can't go no more. So, but yeah, I mean, just get back in it and take it easy. I mean, time shows eventually you'll get there. I mean, I feel like the last 2 years we've done a lot better than we have for the prior 4 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can definitely tell like there was a shift somewhere along the line where you would just be just another car, but now you're like one of those drivers where you get in the heat, drivers are looking at their heat draw and they see James Fisher on there, like, dang man, it's gonna be tough to beat him. So
yeah, we had all kind of walked up and looked at the heats and the consies together. It was like me, Wes, Bronner, all of us. We all kind of just walked up there and we all kind of looked at one another like, what is this? I've noticed over the last year, and that's a lot of people point that out. That's my rider, even he tells me all the time. He's like, more people are like, oh man, we got Fisher in the race now. That sucks. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's good to hear.
Oh yeah. You're a force to be reckoned with for sure. And I like what you said about kind of a lot more strategy. It seems like there's a stigma around figure eights and derby is like, it's just a bunch of hillbillies out wrecking cars. But so for most of these guys that run for points, there's a lot more nuance and strategy involved than what's on the surface. So
yeah, that's well, and just knowing everybody. I mean, I've noticed the last couple of years there's a lot more newer people, and beyond us, it's like, and I've known most of the drivers on the field I know some of them's become really good friends, and I talk to quite often. And yeah, it's just watching the new guys come in, and yeah, I don't know, just keep your head up and keep doing it and drive with a little strategy. Once you get that strategy down, it'll pay off.
Yeah, that's something that we're seeing across the board. I mean, I don't think anymore you could see a heat pull on the track and there's so much competition that it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's everybody puts up a good competition. I mean, like Chilton, he come up to me after the win, and I really wasn't sure that I'd won yet. And I knew we were up there, and I knew that he had got wadded up in the corner, and I kind of just moseyed my way through there, and I was about there was me and one other car, but I didn't recognize the car, and I really wasn't sure where they were at, and I wasn't sure where we were, but I knew we were all on the same lap, but I wasn't sure if the black car that crossed, I seen the checker fly, and I was like, okay. And I even stopped and asked Kenny. I was like, who got that? And he's like, oh, I'm not really sure. I think it was you. And I was like, I don't know. But yeah, Chilton come up to me, and we were talking after the fact, and just kind of about how we drive against one another. It's like good competition. We try to race each other pretty clean, and it's always solid competition between all those guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Good luck on the next one, and we'll see you out there.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Thanks, James. Congrats on the first W.
Yep. Congratulations, man.
Have a good evening.
All right. We're back with Kasey Wray. Kasey competed in her very first Derby, I believe, in Eldon, Missouri. But Kasey, let me say thank you for coming on and joining us on the Crashed It podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So was Eldon Saturday night, was that your very first time driving?
Yes, it was. I've been telling Henry I wanted to Derby for a while, and I guess he finally decided that it was time for me to try.
And so kind of tell our listeners what made you kind of want to get into driving.
Well, my husband, Henry Ray, most people know him as the Mad Dog. I've watched him for many, many years, and I just kind of decided I wanted to try. I've done figure circle track racing and a couple years back, and we've been derbying here lately, and I told him I wanted to do it, so he finally decided to let me try it.
Yeah. What kind of car was that you were driving?
Oh, I don't know what it was.
Like
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think it was a Corsica.
I think that's what it was.
So Kasey competed in the hobo or the gut and go class on Saturday. And let me tell you, she put on a show. So I think he took like a full track shot that kind of flipped the switch from Kyle Wardenhausen, if I'm recalling correctly. After that hit, were you just like, all right, it's go time or what?
Yep. When I go to a derby, I want to see people hit. I hate when they're driving out there tapping each other. So I told Henry I was going to go out there and hit like he does. So that's what I did. Well, that's what I felt like I did.
You certainly did. I was I was getting excited watching you and Kyle go back and forth. You were just laying haymaker after haymaker.
Yeah.
I went up to Kyle and had to give him a little talk a little smack to him. I said, "You just had to go out there and pick on the girl," and he goes, "Oh, I didn't even know that was a girl. I have to go apologize to her." I said, "Oh, I wouldn't. I don't think she minded one bit. It looked like you were just having the time of your life out there."
Yep. I didn't know. I mean, I knew Matt and Darren and Sparky, but other than that, I didn't really know anybody. I mean, I've watched them plenty of times, but I mean, I don't know who's who. So I just felt like I didn't really just pick on one person. I just hit whoever was there in front of me at the time.
Yeah, you definitely drove like Henry. Everybody that goes to a show and Henry shows up, we all know what we're about to be witnessing. And the people that have never seen him run that are on the track with him, they're about to get a wake up call. And,
Yeah.
one thing I noticed is it looked like, were you running with Matt Porter out there and Darren, or because it looked like every time they hit you, here they come.
Yep. They said they had my back. So I had Justin Quincy riding with me, and I don't know if he'll get back in with me, but I hope I get to run some more.
Well, I'm sure he'll build you another one. So what ended up taking you out? Do you know?
I don't really know. I mean, it still started and ran. I think the tires it was too muddy, and I had done popped my front tire, and I really think that's it because Justin drove it off.
Yeah, that might
Has that header cooled down yet, or is it still out there glowing in the shop?
Well, it might still be glowing a little bit.
Yeah, we could definitely tell you're pouring it on. So your header was, for the listeners at home that haven't watched the YouTube video yet. Her header was glowing red, and we knew she was pouring the coals to that car.
Yep, I don't think I touched that brake very often.
I don't think you drove backwards very often.
No, I was told to, but I just can't turn around and drive, and I'd rather go forward.
Well, the video of the gut and go is awesome. I just watched it before I brought you on here, and I can't wait for you to watch it. I know Henry's took a video too. My angle might be a little different though.
Yeah, I haven't got on there and watched it yet. My sister sent me a video that she took. I haven't watched Henry's, and then I'll get on and watch yours.
So, what was your favorite part about your first Derby experience?
I mean, I was nervous all day. I was nervous when I was out there, and then once I went, I just didn't really, my nerves were gone. So I just, I don't know, I enjoyed all of it.
So when was like the peak of the nervousness? Was it the countdown? Was it pulling the car off the trailer? When did you feel like the most nervous?
When I was sitting there waiting in line to pull out on the track. Like it felt like I was sitting there for hours. I think Henry was still out there moving the tires or something. But it just felt like it took forever to get out there.
That's always been my most nervous moment too, is right whenever I'm getting ready to pull on the track. Seems like once you pull on the track, you're like, all right, let's put on a show.
Yeah. I think until like I started moving, I think I was nervous. My heart was racing 90-0, and yeah.
So did you go out there with a plan, or were you just going out there to put on a show?
I just wanted to go out there and put on a show. Henry told me to kind of stay with some cars, kind of take it easy, but that's not what I like. So I just went out there and gave it all.
Yeah, that you didn't go out there and stay with nobody. You went out there,
No.
full arena shots, end to end. I was going crazy on the microphone because I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are going at it, and I loved it.
Yeah, that's what Henry said. He goes, you definitely heard your name and number a lot. I was like, well, that's kind of what I wanted. So.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best gut and goes that I've seen in a long time. Like as far as pace, action, there's just, I mean, you and Kyle going at it with those haymaker shots. I can't think of a whole lot more gut and go shows that I've seen that compared to that one. And a lot of that's thanks to you. So we appreciate drivers like you for sure.
Well, that's what I like. So.
And then I think there was a Foxworthy that started right off the bat. He went full arena in reverse and just smoked somebody right off the start. I don't remember who it was. It was 27S or something like that. It was a blue car. But whoever that was like the pace setter, because after that, it didn't matter where you were or who you were looking at. Everyone was hitting hard, but definitely the battle between you and Wardenhausen was the hardest hitting battle on the track.
I think that was Derek Wardenhausen in 27S.
Yeah, that was Derek. That's who it was. It was Derek.
So do you have plans to run again, Kasey?
Oh, I would love to. As long as I can get Henry. He hasn't said yes or no. He did send me a list of cars today, telling me if I could find them to send them to him. So I think that's a yes. That I'll be back out there.
Just tell Henry you'll take that one that he's got. He'll be okay with that.
Right. But yeah.
Yeah, the full size car, the one he ran Saturday, it's still good enough for Kasey to drive.
Yeah. He'd probably put me in it if I wanted to. But that's also, everybody knows that's his car, so I'd probably have a bunch of people on me then.
You just drive like you did in that cut and go. You'd be fine.
All right.
Nobody would know the difference.
So were you sore the day after the Derby?
I really wasn't too sore yesterday. Today's a little different. Got a couple bruises and a sore neck, but other than that, I mean, I'm good. We can't tell him that because then he definitely won't let me run again.
Well, he listens to every single one of these
No,
podcasts.
I know. He already told me. I can't wait to listen tomorrow.
Yeah, so the 1 week that I missed because of Mother's Day, he messaged me. He's like, "What? No podcast?"
Yep. I think that's what he does when he's mowing. He just listens to that instead of music.
So did you have any help? Did you help Henry build the car at all, or did you build it?
I did. I stripped it out. Henry done a lot of the inside work, but I mean, I stripped most of it. Me and my son helped me a little bit until he got mad, and I put time in it, so.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So walk us through that first full track shot that you got to put on somebody. Like, walk us through from the start. Did you see it coming, or was it just, I'm going this direction and, oh, there's somebody is at the other end of the track? Or were you like, there's that SOB right there?
No, not really. Like I said, I mean, I didn't have any one person in mind because, I mean, I just wanted to run. But I don't remember who it is, but the one that I really remember, he was down in that in the bottom corner, and I just come right straight through the middle and got him there in the back. And
Oh, that was Kyle.
Was it Kyle? I didn't think it was him.
Oh, it was Kyle.
Okay, well then, yeah, then it was him. That was the main one that I remember. So
I kind of like how you say, "Oh, I just got him in the back." No, you tried to drive through his car, Kasey.
Well, you know, I've had a teacher.
No, I loved watching it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely tried giving it all the gas that I could.
So did you have any sponsors or anyone that you wanted to thank for letting you go out on the track? Or
my main one is just Henry for letting me, giving me a chance out there, and my parents and everybody else for supporting me that showed up.
so did any of the hit? Go ahead, Joshua.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I have a feeling you're gonna have a lot more people supporting you at your next run. That was the talk of the show after that. So you gained a lot of new fans.
Yes, I know. Whenever I got out, I mean, my nieces were there, and there was, I don't even know who all the little girls were, but they had a big old group down there hollering at me when I got out of the car, and then my son and a bunch of his baseball buddies were over on the other side hollering at me, so I was trying to talk to them, and I didn't really get to see everybody.
Yeah, just to give everybody an idea of the pace that took place during the gut and go. There was at least 22 cars. Is that right, Joshua?
I think there was 21.
All right,
21.
So there was 21 cars, and within 7 minutes, we were down to 3 cars.
That's insane for gut and go.
Yeah, I felt like it went pretty quick, but I didn't know for sure how long it was, because to me it didn't feel like it was long enough, but felt like it was over before we started.
Well, you put on several good shots, and your car seemed to hold up pretty good through most of those.
Yeah, Yeah, I walked around it. It looks pretty good. Before I went out, well, I don't know when it was. I think a little while before I got out there, Henry come over and said that I think he said Andy said I could run the powder puff figure eight, but that's not really the derby I wanted to run. So I told him no, I was gonna go ahead and stick in the gut and go.
Yeah, Henry had asked. He said, after the gut and go, if there's anything left, can she go out and run the powder puff? I said, oh yeah, just have her sign up down there at the tent, But if you had some tires you would have brought with you, you probably could have went out there and wreaked some more havoc. I'm sure
Yeah.
the other girls may not have enjoyed it as much as the crowd, but
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so during the derby, did you get what I refer to like tunnel vision, or did you kind of soak in the whole moment of the derby? Like, did you kind of look around at the crowd and stuff as well, or just focus on what was going on at the track?
No, I just focused on the track and what was going on. I wished I would have kind of looked around a little more, but maybe next time.
Well, let me paint you a picture. When you hit Kyle full track, everybody was on their feet.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was excited to see you out there and really holding your own. Hopefully there's some little girls out there that they kind of use you as an inspiration that, hey, I can run with the boys too.
Yeah, I've had a couple different people tell me thanks a lot because now my daughter wants to do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, so I told Sarah that you were coming on here tonight, and she goes, "What? Kasey Derby?" And I said, "Oh yeah." And she put on a show, and she goes, "I need to do that."
Yeah. Come on, we need more girls.
Oh, she will one of these days. That's all she wants to do now is derby. She don't even want to powder puff figure eight anymore.
Yeah.
She said she hurt too many feelings at the last one, the California one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put Kasey and Sarah out on the figure eight track, they might be the only two cars left running by the time they clean up. But we appreciate you coming on, Kasey.
Yes, thanks for having me. And like I said, hopefully I get to run some more of your guys' shows and do just as good as I did Saturday night.
Yeah, you were this close to getting the Mad Dog Award. It was going to be between you or Kyle, but Kyle, he kept his car going a little bit longer and made some extra shots. So
yeah.
But we thank you for coming on the podcast, and we look forward to hearing from you later on and seeing you run again. And we're going to get your husband on here one of these days.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kasey.
Bye. Thank you.
And that's going to do it for episode number 10 on the Crashed It podcast. We got to catch up with James Fisher and Kasey Wray, and we got to talk about the Eldon Demolition Derby. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for continuing your support. See you next time on the Crashed It podcast. And like always, go out there and send it.